Well, thank you very much for being with us.
Well, thank you.
And for being in
This
Cape
is
Town.
why I came here.
Thank you very much.
Does this count as a handbag? It's great to be here with you. I've done quite a bit of international travel. This is my first trip to South Africa, though, and I thought I knew what a long plane flight was until I took this trip. But it is really worth it to me because I love to be able to get out and meet firsthand the people who are using the product and the people who are deriving a benefit from the product. It's really a large part of the motivation for me in developing formulas and in getting products out there. What I'd like to start out with is kind of a little bit of my history. I'll briefly go through my history and how that led up to to forming TruVision. So basically, I am self-educated in health and nutrition. I began studying it intensely really in the mid-'80s. I was actually working a corporate job. I was working for an international Fortune 500 company called the Rank Organization out of London. And I took a keen interest in supplements. I was very much into fitness, into working out. In fact, I was an avid squash player. The only trouble was in Salt Lake City, Utah, where I live, there were only 2 facilities with squash courts. But I played it as often as I could. And I found that if I could find the right supplements, I actually did feel a difference. I felt more energy, I felt more clarity. I recognized different benefits, and so I became keenly interested in it. And in the late 80s, I actually started up a consulting firm. I would go into companies and help them streamline their operations, raise their levels of efficiency. And it so happened that in about 1990, I ended up working for a health and nutrition company. And they had quite an extensive R&D staff comprised of PhDs and medical doctors. And I found that I was spending more time there than I was in any other area of that company, just talking to their staff and asking them questions about different ingredients, different combinations of ingredients, different processes for manufacturing ingredients, things like that. And they were quite surprised at the questions that I was asking. And one day, one of the PhDs there handed me what's called a white paper. How many of you in here know what a white paper is? Great, we have a few hands. A white paper is basically a summary of a clinical research that's been conducted on an ingredient or a product. And he handed me this white paper. It's quite lengthy. And he said, Dave, take this home, read it, and when you finish it, come back to me and tell me what you think of it. And so I think he was expecting that it would take me, a couple of weeks to go through it. I went home that night and just devoured it. Came back the next day and said, hey, I read it. You want to know what I think? And he said, wow, you read all of it? And I said, yes. He said, so what do you think? And I said, well, it looks to me that this ingredient that this research company was conducting the research on, it looks to me like this research company probably has a vested interest in making this ingredient look good. So my guess is they're either paid by the company that wants to market it, and they actually paid the company to just do a research study that would make it look good, or maybe they're even owned by the company that's trying to market this particular ingredient. And he said, you're absolutely right. He said, that's exactly what the case is. And so he started handing me more research papers, having me read through more clinicals. And by the time I finished my contract with that company, he and the other research staff were telling me, you've got a knack for this. You really might want to consider a career change. And so I took the challenge. I had a motivation of, even though what I did in my firm was rewarding, I really wanted to help people in a more meaningful way. More meaningful way than just helping a company improve their bottom line profit. And so I decided to take that leap of faith. I decided to get into health and nutrition full time, really get into researching. And by 1993, I started up a company, a health company, with a partner, a doctor of medicine, an MD. And I put out my first couple of formulas, and they worked. People liked them. They served a good purpose. And from then on, I was able to find different ingredients over the years, different combinations of ingredients, and I was able to produce a variety of formulas that really were beneficial in helping people. Now, before I go on, I want to clarify one thing. I always believe in giving credit where credit is due. And a lot of the things that I've come across, I believe, they were given to me by a higher power, all right? I believe that many times we're led to things in our lives, and if our intent is pure, if we want to really help and benefit people, we're led to things that will allow us to do that. And that's the way I feel with a lot of the things that I've encountered. So just so you know, I have to give, as I said, credit where credit's due. So through the years, I've been looking more and more into blood chemistry and a combination of ingredients that could help people improve blood chemistry. I came to realize that if you improve blood chemistry, you actually can impact in a positive way almost every system and major organ of the body. So by 2008, I and a friend had come across a combination of ingredients that we felt would be a good product to help with blood chemistry, specifically with blood sugar regulation. And so we put together the product, we contacted a diabetic clinic in Salt Lake, and we got about a dozen type 2 diabetics taking the product. Our goal was to help them regulate sugar better and help them decrease their usage of insulin. So we put these people on a 6-month test with the product, and sure enough, it worked. People in that group, every single one of them, by the end of the 6 months, had either greatly reduced their insulin usage. Some of them had even been able to eliminate their insulin usage. But also another interesting thing happened. Some of you may or may not know, one of the key triggers for type 2 diabetes is excess weight. And all of our test subjects had excess weight. At the end of the 6 months, all of these test subjects had also lost significant weight. And so we knew we had a product that could really help us and do something for people. We decided, because weight loss is always a very popular item in the health industry, we decided to make that one of the key points as we looked for a company to carry that product. And we actually found a company, a little tiny company out of Scottsdale, Arizona. They happen to do health products on a network marketing model. And so we showed them the product, and we didn't know this at the time, but that company was actually about to go out of business. They were down to a couple of hundred distributors. We didn't know it, but we showed them the product. They said, you know, we'll buy 30 of these 30-day supplies from you. We'll get it out to some of our people, and if it does what you say it'll do, we'll let you know. We'll call you. So about 2 or 3 weeks later, they called us, and they said, it's doing everything you said it would do. We'll buy 200 of these units from you. And that was the beginning. That was in the summer of 2009. I still, through another company that I have, I still continue to provide product to them. Last month they sold about 360,000 units. They'll probably sell about 380,000 units this month, and it's helping people a lot. However, something happened. When we originally found this company, they were very humble, and you know, I'm very familiar with network marketing. Over the years, I've tried some. For some strange reason, in the United States, the state of Utah, where I live, seems to be the mecca of network marketing. So many companies are headquartered there, it's incredible. So you can't not live in Utah without being approached by a network marketing company. In fact, by show of hands, how many of you in here have been approached before by a network marketing company? Pretty much, yeah, quite a few of you. All right. And how many of you had smashing success with it and are just still having that kind of success? Okay. That's usually the response. So one of the reasons why, so I like network marketing. I like the concept of how you can take a good product and share it with people and spread that product. However, there are things that I don't like about your typical network marketing model. For example, a lot of network marketing companies build a culture that encourage people to shift their focus to attaining that next rank in their compensation plan, getting that big check, getting that fancy car, getting up on stage and being recognized and applauded by everybody. And that, for me, is kind of the opposite direction a person should go if they're seeking personal refinement and personal improvement. It shouldn't be about getting recognition. It shouldn't be about getting all these material things. A lot of network marketing companies create a very materialistic culture and environment. Now don't get me wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong if somebody wants to have the nice car, or have a nice watch, or live in a nice home. But the thing is, you shouldn't make that the center focus point of your life, okay? You shouldn't sacrifice other things of greater value just so you can achieve the next rank in a bonus plan, just so you can be marched up on stage, or just so you can get that fancy car or that fancy watch. I've been fortunate over the years through formulations that my wife and I have been blessed, but I can tell you this, if something happened and we lost those material things tomorrow and had to go live in a trailer somewhere, we would still be happy. And I say that honestly. We would still be happy because we have each other, we have our children, we have the things that matter most in our life. And that really is what life is about. So, getting back to my history here, as this company was taking my product and they were developing and growing and becoming very successful, they were turning into a typical network marketing company. They were doing the car bonuses, they were marching people across stage with big checks, giving them Rolex watches, having them drive Lexus sedans and things like that. And I saw good people start to switch their focus from their families, from things of great importance, to their whole life became consumed about obtaining that next rank or getting that car and that type of thing. And it was a sad thing to see. So in 2013, I had developed a new generation of blood chemistry and weight management products. Now, I could have taken those formulas, I could have taken them to that existing client of mine. At this point, they were selling, a couple of 100,000 units a month, and it could have been a very lucrative thing for me to be able to take the next generation, take it to them and say, here you go, here's your next generation, you can start selling it. And instantly we would have had a huge amount of sales of that product. But because they were doing it the way they were and creating the culture they were, that's when I and a friend of mine, Boyd, who was engaged with me in this other company, that's when we decided that we wanted to start our own company, and we wanted to create a company that would use the strengths of network marketing without the downfalls. Create a company that would not create a culture of materialism, but rather create a culture of service, encouraging people to be of service to others, encouraging people in sharing product because they really want to help people. So we decided to do that. Now Boyd, he's a great guy. You'll probably never ever see him. He's in his 80s and he hates to fly. So you'll probably never ever meet him. But I told Boyd, I said, I'm happy to start this company, but I'm not going to do it alone. When you start a network marketing company, there's a lot of work involved. And so what I need to find are people who can help me do this, who understand both the strengths of network marketing, but also understand the weaknesses of network marketing and want to avoid those weaknesses as well. And so I began looking for people, and again, this is a fairly small group, so I'll go ahead and say this, and I don't mean to offend anyone who perhaps is not of the same belief system I am. But for me, it became a matter of prayer as well, because that's an important part of my life, asking for help. And this was in September of 2013. Now, I had met a fellow by the name of Sean Gibson a year earlier, and he was a great guy. I really liked him. We had explored the possibility of doing something together and decided that it wasn't a good match. Well, Sean, Sean was working at a network marketing company with two friends, Travis and Derek. And they were also tired of seeing the typical network marketing thing. So they were actually going to start up a company of their own. And Sean, but they knew that they had to have good products. So Sean volunteered to say, hey, I know a guy who really puts together good products. So let's talk to him and see if he'll put together some products for us. So they called me up and asked me if I would meet with them and do that. And I'll be honest with you, I had already decided to start a TruVision, so I was not interested in developing any more products for other companies. But I liked Sean enough that I did not want to just give him a cold no over the phone. So I agreed to meet with them so I could very tactfully and politely tell them no in a meeting. So we met up, and as they started telling me about the company that they wanted to form, it was right along the lines of TruVision, of this company that I had already started to form. Everything, they were right on the same page with me. And I remember after that meeting, instead of telling them no, I told them, we might have another proposition for you. Give us a day or two and we'll get back to you. And Boyd and I walked out into the parking lot and I turned to Boyd and said, those are our guys. They're the ones who can help us. So we met with them a couple of days later, offered them ownership of the company along with us, and they agreed because they understood that we were on the same page as they were. We already had developed some great products. And so within a week, we had everything, the groundwork laid. We then continued to prepare things to launch TruVision, and the following May of 2014, we launched TruVision. So next month will be our 2-year anniversary. We have actually grown much quicker than we thought we would. We had forecasted a very slow growth because we weren't going to build this company on hype. We weren't going to build it on promising people huge checks and saying, look at all the money you can make, and here's some mediocre products that are high priced, but don't pay attention to that. Pay attention to the money you're going to make. We weren't going to use that approach. We were going to use a product approach. So we thought it would grow very slowly, and we've been very pleasantly surprised. We've been very blessed. 2 years old, and we're pushing between 4 and 5 million a month in sales in US dollars. And it's more than it's much farther along than we thought we would be at this point. But we've identified that the reason why is because, number one, we have products that work and they benefit people. Number two, we seem to attract people who are genuinely interested in helping other people. And those two things, that combination, is bringing us to a great amount of success. You know, we haven't planned on doing any kind of international expansion for at least 3 or 4 years when we started this, but things have happened. People end up sharing product with friends and family who live elsewhere. Now we have a very strong business going in Australia and New Zealand, and now we have the beginnings of a business here in South Africa. We also have the beginnings of a strong business in the UK and in Germany. So we've got some really incredible things happening. And so what we're doing is we're now working very hard to be able to continue to supply the product to you. We've already started in process, getting all the products properly registered in South Africa, getting all the clearances that we need. Quite frankly, we could continue to operate kind of in a direct shipping or through a distributor-operated warehouse, we call it. We could operate that way for a year or two before getting official approvals, but we're not doing it that way. We're now working on getting the official approvals and everything done way before we don't want the South African government coming to us saying, hey, what are you doing? You're doing business, so you need to be registered. We want to go to them and say, hey, we want to do business, so here's all the information you want, so we can be registered. So we're laying the groundwork, and we're doing that for those of you who have decided to share the product. We want you to be able to build a very successful business and not have any surprises down the road of all of a sudden having product that you can't sell anymore or things like that. So we're working to get everything prepared, the groundwork laid, so that hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have everything set up so we'll be officially registered. But in the meantime, we've got some very enthusiastic people who are enjoying the product and sharing it, so we're here to support you and help you with that. So TruVision, guys, is really a company that is about helping people. Now, are there people who are making incredible incomes, and are there people who are yet to make incredible incomes? Absolutely, absolutely there are. But the people who are successful are the people who are doing it for the right reason. When they look at somebody, they're not seeing, and I'll talk in US terms, they're not seeing dollar signs, they're not seeing rand signs. What they're seeing is somebody who can use a product and somebody that they really want to help. There's an old saying that I really believe in, and that is, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Would you agree with that? If you're really interested in people, they can tell. They can sense it. They know. If you're just interested in chasing a rand, chasing a dollar, they can tell as well. So we're really happy that we're attracting people to our company who really care. Tonight as I speak to you, I'm going to be speaking mainly about product. You're not going to see me pull up a whiteboard and start drawing circles and start explaining a comp plan and tell you all how rich you're going to be. That's not what we do. We talk about our cause, our purpose, and our product, because that's really what it's all about. So, what I'd like to do, guys, is launch into talking briefly about our products. I don't like long meetings, but we'll give you enough information that you can feel comfortable with it. We'll open up to question and answers. If it does end up going a little bit too long, we'll go ahead and close the meeting, and then those who want to stay and ask additional questions can stay and ask additional questions. But let me talk about the products. So I'm going to talk first about just some of our products are geared around health. We're developing a great essential oil line. I don't know how many of you here have used essential oils. We believe in them. We really like them. We're doing things a little bit different though. How many of you have heard of essential oil companies like Young Living or doTERRA? Anybody here? Yeah. We think those companies have great products. One thing we see with those companies though is they have a huge collection of essential oils. In fact, if you get their manuals on their oils, it's that thick, it can be very confusing. Our essential oil line is going to be comprehensive, but it's going to be very simple. It'll be very easy to understand, very easy to figure out which oils you can use for which purposes. So we'll probably end up with maybe 20 to 30 oils instead of 100 plus oils. So we're not going to have a lot of confusion with our oil line. But we do use the top quality oil sources. We have been able to tap into some people who actually supply Young Living and doTERRA with their oils, and we feel that they're a great quality. We found some sources where we feel the quality is even higher than those companies, so we use those sources, but we use the best sources for our essential oil line. We also have a product like this, Heart and Hydration. This product is great for hydrating the body. We also have placed in this product CoQ10 and Omega, which are wonderful products for good cardiovascular health. The purpose of this product is to be a healthy alternative to drinks like Gatorade, things like that. Even and a much healthier alternative, obviously, to drinking soda pop all day. So this is a good, healthy, good tasting drink that actually does your body good when you drink it. We have a product like this, True Slumber. I actually developed this one out for selfish reasons. I usually don't have trouble falling asleep at night, but I'm a very light sleeper. So even the slightest noise would wake me up at 1 or 2 in the morning, and then my mind would instantly be racing again, and I couldn't get back to sleep. The purpose of this product is once you sleep, it helps you sleep deeper, helps you have a much better sleep. So it's not really made to make you drowsy, but it is made to help you have a nice, deep sleep once you fall asleep. I found some incredible sources for the ingredients that are in here, and the sources for these ingredients tend to be much more bioavailable than other sources. If you're familiar with natural remedies and you look at this, you'll see things that you'll recognize: melatonin, cercos, which is a lemon extract, passion flower, things like that. They're very common. You find those a lot in natural sleep products. However, I found the key to an effective one is finding the sources that have the ingredients which are the most bioavailable, and it really does work. In fact, the nice thing about this product is because it doesn't make you drowsy, we actually, not intentionally, but now we have a lot of people, for example, who have high anxiety, and they take this product because it calms them down without causing drowsiness. Other people who are hyperactive, they take this product, it helps calm them down. We have parents who have ADHD kids. They give them that product along with our TruFix product, and it helps calm them down. So it's a really good product for that. So the theme or the purpose behind our products is health-oriented, and those are a couple. What I'd really like to talk about tonight, though, are the flagship products, the ones that really attract people and really help a lot of people. And that is the TruFix and the TruWeight and Energy. Oh, we've got an empty sleeve. I hope that's not what we handed out to people tonight. Here's your sleeve, no product, but here's your sleeve. So, let me talk first about the TruFix, the blue capsules that we have. So TruFix is our blood chemistry product. It is designed to improve overall blood chemistry. It's designed to help regulate blood sugar. It's designed to help regulate cholesterol. It even can help regulate blood pressure. It can improve your overall lipid profile is what it can do. It's a wonderful product for that. it was interesting when I first started putting out a blood chemistry product, the precursor to this product here, years ago, we knew we would have people starting to gradually lose weight on it. We knew we would have people who had high blood sugar that would drop. We knew if people had high cholesterol, it would help drop their cholesterol. But what we didn't know is that we'd start getting reports. I remember we had been selling the product to this other company for about 3-4 months. And one day I got a call from a lady who said, hey, I've got a son who's ADHD. We've had him on your product for about 2 months now. He is now back in a regular classroom. He can focus. He's not bouncing off the walls. The school has actually said we can put him back into a regular classroom again. And I actually told that lady, I said, you know, I appreciate your faith in the product, but honestly, I don't know if I can take responsibility or if the product can take responsibility for that benefit. Well, within a week, we had another person call from the other side of the country, completely independent, with a daughter who was ADHD, telling us exactly the same thing. And within a few weeks, we had weekly reports coming in. And then we started having weekly reports coming in of different things. People, for example, who had had migraines since they were young, since they were teenagers, and the migraines were going away. Actually, people with fairly severe disorders, such as MS, things like that, reporting wonderful benefits. If I were to start listing all the benefits, I would be hesitant to do that because it would sound like snake oil to you. But what we determined is that when you improve blood chemistry, you really do impact the body in a positive way, and you positively impact every major system and organ in the body simply by improving your blood chemistry. Blood chemistry, your blood is basically the substance of life in your body. So when you improve it, you make some great improvements in every aspect of health. So TruFix is a product that I recommend people should get on and take the rest of their life. If you want to have optimal blood chemistry and have the best chance possible of living a long, healthy life, TruFix can help with that. I often tell people I wouldn't mind living to be in excess of 100 as long as I'm in good shape. If I'm in poor health, then I don't want to. But if I'm in good health, you know, I'd be happy to. So that's our goal with that product, to help people live long, happy, healthy lives. So that is TruFix. Now, a product that we recommend people take in conjunction with TruFix if they want to lose weight and or have more energy is our True Weight and Energy. And we actually have 3 different versions of a weight and energy type product. We have Weight and Energy version 1, we have Weight and Energy version 2, and then we have True Elevate. That they're all designed to serve the same purpose, and that is to give a nice, subtle supply of energy to the person and to help their body naturally lose weight. Now, since weight loss is a very hot topic these days, I'm going to talk a bit about that. When people gain extra weight, they usually don't gain it all at once, all right? They usually do it in what I call a plateau pattern. They'll gain a few pounds or kilos, stay there for a while, and then gain a few more, stay there for a while, gain a few more. So 10, 12, 15 years down the road, you know, they're 30, 40 kilos overweight, but it didn't come on all at once. Now, occasionally you'll get somebody, an exception. For example, somebody, might go on a medication that will cause them to gain weight quickly. But for most people, it's a plateau process of gaining the weight. For you ladies, a lot of times it's connected in with having children. You gain some weight with your first child, you don't quite get rid of all that extra weight, you have another child, you gain a little bit more, don't quite get rid of all of it, before you know it, you've got more weight than you want to have. So whether it's that, whether it's eating habits, whether it's just the effects of aging and your metabolism slowing down, there are some people who don't increase their caloric intake, they don't increase what they're eating, yet they still put on extra weight, and it's because with age, sometimes their metabolism slows down, and they get very frustrated, saying, well gosh, I used to be able to eat this and not gain weight, but now why am I gaining weight? So the way our product is designed to reverse that plateau pattern, okay? So what I mean by that is when people take our product, it's not what I call a typical thermogenic kind of product. How many of you have heard of the term thermogenic when it comes to weight loss? Okay. For those of you who haven't, a typical thermogenic is a product which is loaded with a lot of stimulants. And it basically is going to force your body to burn excess weight. So will you lose excess fatty tissue when you take a typical thermogenic? Likelihood is yes. However, unfortunately, those products are so strong that, number one, they can force your body to burn lean tissue as well, like muscle tissue. So your body will start burning tissue indiscriminately, and we don't want that. But number two, and even worse, those products can overstimulate the cardiovascular system. In fact, years ago, I was consulting with a company, a network marketing company. I was consulting with them on their business administration side. And they brought on board a weight loss product, brand new weight loss product. This was like in the early 90s. And it seemed to work. I mean, people who were taking it were losing weight. They were getting all kinds of phone calls saying, hey, it's great, I'm losing weight. And almost everyone who took it, almost everyone was losing weight with it. Well, within a few weeks of introducing the product, all of a sudden they started getting calls saying, hey, I took your product, I'm having heart palpitations now. I took your product, I felt like I was going to pass out. They started getting those reports quite frequently, and until every day they were getting reports. So even though it wasn't the area where I was helping them, I decided to look into that product and into the main ingredients. And I found that one of the main ingredients, an ingredient called ephedra, was causing the overstimulation of the cardiovascular system. And I found out that ephedra, if it's not used in sufficient dosage, it will not help you lose weight. But if you put in a sufficient dosage to lose weight, you're also putting in enough that you can overstimulate the heart. So for that reason, for example, I would never use ephedra in a formula. Now let me share with you a principle in formulation that I discovered long ago, and it's very true. You can take almost any ingredient, whether it's a vitamin, a mineral, a plant extract of some sort. You can take that, and if you overuse it, it can become detrimental to your health if you overuse it. Now, if you use that particular ingredient in the right proportion, it can actually be a healthful ingredient. It can help your health. So it's a two-edged sword with a lot of ingredients out there. You use enough to help your health, but if you overuse it, you can actually do some harm and do some damage. So that's one of the principles that we adhere to as we develop new products. We look at products, at ingredients, and say, okay, so where is the dividing line? Where is the point where if this product is overused, it can become harmful? And then we stay well away from that dividing line. For example, chromium. Chromium is needed. It's a wonderful ingredient. It can help your body develop lean muscle tissue. It can help your body control sugar. However, if you overuse chromium, it can actually cause kidney damage. It can create other problems in the body. So we stay well away from ranges that can cause that problem. We use the ingredients in the proper proportions in our product to be healthful and helpful ingredients rather than harmful ingredients. So that's what we do with our Weight and Energy. Each one of the versions, the True Elevate, the Weight and Energy 2, the Weight and Energy 1, they have some great ingredients in them, but we have found what those levels are that we need to use them, so we're not going to harm anybody's health, but we are going to be able to help people lose weight. Now, if you develop a product and make it so strong that it's going to help 99% of the people, chances are it's too strong and it can create problems. That's why we have 2 or 3 products to choose from. Everybody's physiology is different. So say, for example, you take the True Weight and Energy version 1, and let's say, for example, it's not really working that well for you, then try the True Weight version 2, or try the True Elevate. Find that particular ingredient that responds well with your particular physiology, because everybody's physiology is different. And what might work well for one person may not work well for another person. So that's our goal, is to give a choice or options to people that they can choose and find hopefully something that will help them lose that weight. Another reason why we have multiple products is you may find a product that seems to help at first, but then your body develops a tolerance for that, or you start to plateau out. And again, remember, our products are designed to do a reverse plateau, so it's very common to plateau as you're losing weight. However, if 2 or 3 or 4 months go by and you're still on that plateau, then what you can do is go off of, say you're using True Weight and Energy 1, go off of that, try True Weight and Energy version 2. and see if that will break the plateau for you. You could continue just to use one product, and over time, your body will re-educate itself, and it will, just as it re-educated itself in putting on extra weight, it will re-educate itself in taking the excess weight off. But if you want to speed that up a bit, that's why we offer the options, to give you the option to try and speed the process up, but still lose weight in a healthy way. And that's our goal, is we want people to lose weight, we want them to lose it safely. These products, because it's not a typical thermogenic, we have a lot of people who take True Weight and Energy who don't need to lose weight, they simply take it for the energy benefit. We have a lot of athletes who will take the True Weight and Energy for an energy benefit. So those are our key products. Those are the ones that seem to really help people. When it came to sharing the product with people, we wanted to make it very easy. So that's why we came up with the TruVision. That's why we came up with the week supply. Instead of trying to invite somebody to an opportunity meeting and trying to get them excited about earning income and, oh, by the way, here's our product. Instead of doing it that route, we wanted a route where we could simply give the product to people, say, try it, see if you like it, and then let me know. And the people who are sticking to that method of sharing the product are being very successful. We let the product do the selling rather than asking people to do the selling. So it seems to be working extremely well. That's part of the reason why we're growing so quickly. So we're really happy that we've been able to provide these products. We have some exciting products coming out in a couple of months. You guys will get wind of it. They'll probably start delivering here in June. And so we've got some great things that are coming up that serve very demanded needs that are out there for people's health. You know, our health in general is declining. Despite the fact that we're improving our science in nutrients and supplements and things like that, our population seems to, a higher percentage are carrying around excess weight. I'm not sure what the statistics are for South Africa, but in America, now over 50% of Americans are overweight. Over 30% of Americans are overweight to the point where they are in the obese category. And so it's really sad. It's because we don't do the exercise we should, we don't eat as we should. Our products are designed to help people change their lifestyle. When you take our products, many times if you have a craving for sugar, it'll help kill that craving for sugar. It gives you more energy. Debbie mentioned how we have a 10K pledge program where we encourage people to get like a fitness tracker device and get 10,000 steps in a day. When you feel better, when you have more energy, you're more likely to be able to do that. What we're doing now is we're helping people change lifestyle, help them keep weight off the healthy way. I'm happy to say we have so many people now that every month are, we have a little, for those on the Fitbit, for example, we have a common community of Fitbit, and every month now our people combined are doing literally millions of steps every month. And it's great to see. It's great to see people who had a hard time walking half a kilometer without getting out of breath, and now they can walk 2 or 3 kilometers and do just fine. People who couldn't even do running or jogging, now they're able to run and jog. And it's step by step, it's a gradual progression that they're making with the help of our products. Our products are designed to help people redesign their life and be able to adopt some healthy habits into their life. So that's how we prefer to approach good health. So, in a nutshell, that's it. That's what I usually talk about when I talk about product. Now what I'd like to do is I'd like to open it up to questions. Well, I'll answer questions for just a bit. As we get a little bit later, I don't want this to go much longer, so if you don't get your question answered, please stick around, and I'll be happy to stick around and answer questions for you after we close the meeting. So, does anybody have any questions that they'd like to ask? Yes?
The TruFix tablet, do you take that in conjunction with multivitamins and stuff?
Yeah.
Or can you do away with, because you don't want to waste and overtake, but what can you take with it? What can you leave?
And that's a great question. The question was, for example, the TruFix, should that be taken? We also have some great multivitamin products, things like that, our drink, things like that. He asked is, can they all be taken in conjunction with each other? And the answer to that is yes. What we do when we design a product to add into the line, we take the scenario of what if somebody is taking all of our other products? is by taking this additional product, is it going to overdose them on something like chromium, for example, or something like that? No, we do not. We design them so that they will not overdose on anything, so they can be taken together. They serve different purposes. But yes, someone can take our multivitamin and multi-mineral, they can take the TruVix, they can take the True Weight and Energy, and it's not going to be a problem. So yes, they can be taken together. Yes?
Somebody mentioned detox. Can you explain a little bit about detox? So people experience detox when they first take this?
Yeah, absolutely. The request was to talk a little bit about a possible detox or cleansing effect. And that can happen sometimes. When you start improving your blood chemistry, your body will start detoxifying. It's usually a very subtle kind of detoxification. Sometimes people, for a short period, can develop a rash or itchiness, things like that. It's not an allergic reaction. We don't use things in our products like shellfish and iodine and things that can commonly cause allergic reactions. We stay away from those ingredients. But it can cause a bit of a detoxification response to the person who's using the product. What I suggest is keep on using it. You'll find that those side effects will go away over time as your body cleanses itself. When you start improving your blood chemistry, you start improving both liver function and kidney function in the beginning of the process. And anytime you start improving those, you can start to go through a little bit of a detoxification process. Great question. Any other questions? Yes?
Not so much as a question, but I go to bed at about 10:30 in the evening. About 1 o'clock, I'm wide awake. Then I'm so busy with Mr. Zuma and everything. And, and all my kids and what they did wrong and what they did not do wrong. And you see, then I go in and out of sleep.
Yes.
But when I wake up in the morning, say at 7, I'm wide awake. I'm not tired. So I can't believe that I've been awake during the night and I don't sleep in the afternoon. So,
right.
So I don't know, must I try that thing or whatever?
Yes. No, what happens, again, we relate it to blood chemistry. When you have good blood chemistry, the rest that you do get actually rejuvenates, replenishes your body quicker and better than when your blood chemistry is poor. And so that we get that same report from people. Now, that's also, though, why we developed the True Slumber, because that was my situation, exactly. And so when you take the True Slumber, it should help you sleep more soundly so you don't wake up in the middle of the night and you're not able to get back to sleep. So I would suggest, if you haven't tried it, give it a try. See what it does. Any other questions? Yes?
Of the three True Weight and Energy versions, which one is the most stimulating or stimulating?
Of the ingredients?
Yeah, in terms of the three versions, the Gen 2 and the other two.
Yeah. Betsley.
If you kind of put it into.
Yeah. So which of those is the most stimulating of those? It would actually be the caffeine. We put a little bit of caffeine in the product. And let me talk about that. That's a great question. We need to have a little bit of stimulant in there because it acts as a catalyst for the other ingredients. However, what we don't do is we don't put in a quantity that, number one, can overstimulate the heart, and number two, can become addictive. All right? We don't actually release the milligrams that we put in because it's part of our proprietary blend. We kind of keep that under wraps because we don't want people out there knocking off what we've really put a lot of time and resources into developing. But the caffeine is the most stimulating there, but even saying that, it's not an amount sufficient to cause any kind of addiction or to stimulate.
Sorry, I mean, you said you put three different True Weight and Energy versions.
Yes.
Yeah, of those three versions, the Gen 2, the Innovate, and the basic one, or the first one.
Yeah.
Which
of those is the most stimulating?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I would honestly, again, it kind of comes back to a person's physiology. It's all unique. Some people may find that True Weight Energy version 1 is more stimulating than version 2. Others will find the reverse. They're all, as far as the formulation goes, they're all pretty much equal, but depending on the person who's taking it. That is what will determine which is the most stimulating. Saw a hand here and then a hand here.
Even as people go off the products, happens to the black chemistry when you stop?
When you stop
And,
taking?
how-
Yeah, and that's a great question. So the question was, if you're taking the product and say you lose some weight, you get some benefit, but then you stop taking the product, what will happen? Well, let's talk about the weight loss, because that's usually a lot of times what that question is I've lost some weight, if I go off of it, will I put the weight back on? The answer is, the lifestyle that put that extra weight on, unless you change that lifestyle and you go off our product, then guess what? If you haven't changed your lifestyle, then of course the weight will come back on. That's again why we encourage the 10K pledge. That's why we put ingredients in the product that will help give energy and elevate mood. We put a product in there called beef phenylethylamine. What is beef phenylethylamine? You actually find that in dark chocolate and cocoa. It's a natural mood elevator. It helps people feel better. It helps them be motivated to get up and move around and be active and things like that. So the product is designed to help people hopefully change their habits and get into that lifestyle that will help them manage their weight through lifestyle change. However, if you take the product and don't make any lifestyle change and get off the product, yes, you will. You'll put the weight back on.
Generation 1 and 2, are you planning on phasing out generation 1, or is it going to...
Now, what's that again?
You've got 2 generations of products.
Yes.
Are you planning on phasing out the first generation?
Phase out one? No, we're not. And the reason why we're not phasing them out is because, as I said earlier, everybody is different. Some people respond best to generation 1. Some people respond best to generation 2. Some people respond best to the generation 2.1. So we keep them here for that reason, so that people can try them. And if you're not getting a good response from one, then try the other. See if through our formulas you can find one that matches up with your physiology and gives you the best result. And yeah.
Dave, your name. Your
Dave,
name.
yeah.
Dave.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, just a bit of background firstly in South Africa, and if we talk money and the cost of the product. I'm one of those stingy guys, and I work with a budget, and I think it's a good thing obviously to work with a budget.
Yeah.
But just some research recently showed to eat healthy, anywhere in the world,
Yeah.
typically costs 3 times as much as the junk that we eat to just sort of survive.
Yeah.
Now the typical people that really need that product are the guys in the lower income range that can't afford to eat as healthy as the guys in the upper income range.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. Let me just get to the question quickly. Obviously, with our exchange rate, this product is very expensive.
Yeah.
It could typically easily be up to a quarter of our grocery bill in a month for a month's supply of the combo pack. And so my question is, I've heard of some people that just to sort of extend your product, take one of the pills per day, once a day instead of twice a day.
Yeah.
Are you only then going to get 50% of the benefit, or is it not recommended at all to take it like that? So yeah, the whole thing is just affordability in this country is a problem.
And you hit on some key points. So let me address actually a couple of them besides the actual question as well. Can you take, say, just 1 a day instead of 2 a day, stretch it out a little bit further? Yes, you can. Now, here's an odd thing, though, that happens with most people's physiology. If you cut the dose in half, you would think, okay, well, I'll get maybe half the benefit. That's really not true. Most people actually only get about 1/3 the benefit. So when you're taking the recommended dosage, you're getting the full benefit. Cut it in half. For some reason, you'll only get about 1/3 of the benefit. Now, let me talk about the pricing a little bit, because that is a key point. One of the things that I didn't like about this other company that I've sold the product to, and for that fact, any other multi-level marketing company that I've sold to over the years, is how much they mark up their product. They have a huge markup in those products. In fact, if you were to take the cost of our 2 main products, which is our weight loss energy system along with the blood chemistry, in dollars it's $80 a month. I'm not sure what that is in Rand, and that's before shipping and tax.
400 rands.
Yeah, we actually had someone here who looked at some other weight loss products or systems from other companies like Herbalife. We actually come in quite a bit less than those. In fact, if I had given these new formulas to the other company that I was selling to, instead of costing around $80, they would have been charging people at least $120 to $150. So what we found is when people take the product, if it works, it's amazing how they're able to come up with the necessary funds to be able to take that if it works. There's a ton of people over the years who have taken the Herbalife products, they like them, they're able to do it somehow. So we try to keep it lower than any, in fact, what we try to compete with actually are grocery store shelf prices is what we try to do rather than the elevated multi-level marketing prices. However, if you're on a very, very restrictive budget, then yes, go ahead and cut down because taking half is better than taking nothing at all. Might take a little bit longer to accomplish your goals, but at least you'll be able to slowly work towards those goals. Now, one other thing I will mention, one of the reasons why we do this in this kind of format is it enables the average person to be able to purchase this at a certain price, and then if they want to, they can resell it at a little bit higher price, and it doesn't take doing that many times a month to be able to actually earn the income needed to be able to buy your own products. So it's a great way also that people can earn enough income fairly easily to be able to afford their own products. Great question, great comment on that. Any other questions?
Maybe I understand the confusion in the FDA, but maybe explain to everyone else about the FDA and the
Sure.
guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So the question or comment was, confusion of FDA and what is the agency called here in South Africa? South Africa Health or something like that? Yeah, South Africa Health. We've hired consultants who are, putting together all the information for South Africa Health that they want to see. So what happens is, in the United States, the FDA pretty much dictates how you should label product, what you should put on the box, that type of thing. So we have to comply with that. For example, some people will read a box and say, oh, your TruFix, I shouldn't give it to someone under the age of 18. Well, the truth be known, the TruFix is excellent for people of all ages. My stepson, we've had him taking it since he was 2, and it's been doing a great job for him. So we also say on some of the products, if you're nursing, if you're an expectant mother or nursing mother, don't take this product, and that's not always the case. But we have to comply with FDA regulations. Once we get registered here, we'll have to comply with South Africa Health regulations. So that's one of the beauties of network marketing. Through network marketing, you can kind of get the real story of what can be done and what can't be done. One of the common questions I get, though, is can an expectant mother or nursing mother take the TruFix? The answer to that is yes. It's great for blood chemistry. It's great to pass that on to the baby. Now, that they'll ask, can a nursing or expectant mother take the weight and energy? Again, I'll give you my opinion, and that's what it is. I'm the kind of person that if an expectant mother comes to me and says, can I take this? Or if she says, I'm nursing or I'm expecting, should I continue to drink coffee? I'm going to say no. Because I personally believe you don't want to pass on those stimulants through the breast milk to the baby, or if you're expectant, to pass that on to the child. So I would say on the True Weight and Energy, even though it's just a little bit of stimulant, I'd say no, don't take it. If you're nursing or expectant, don't pass on that stimulant. Other people don't see a problem. I had a nurse in the United States who specialized in lactation tell me that a little bit of caffeine actually stimulates milk production. So she would actually tell her patients to go ahead and take a little bit of caffeine to stimulate, the milk production. But I still would say, no, let's not give the baby stimulants. So anyway, differences of opinion, but that's what my opinion is. Great question, yes?
Can I just describe the process of research that you guys did in order to actually get these products on the shelf?
Yes. And let me talk about that. The question was the research that we do. So let me tell you very quickly the process that we go through when I'm developing a formula. I try to look for the newer ingredients, ones that are not really well known. The downside of that is I'll look at 100 ingredients, and within a week or two of looking into a particular ingredient, I have to disqualify it because there's flags that are raised. Number one, is it safe? there's a chance it's not safe, so we'll disqualify it immediately. But when I do find ingredients that I think show promise, what I'll do is I'll put together a pro forma formula using those one or two ingredients. And then I actually have a resource that's really quite good. A friend of mine who has a fully equipped lab, he earned his doctorate, his PhD in medical sciences from Harvard. In the U.S., that program is usually an 8-year program. This friend of mine finished it in 3.5 years top of his class. In other words, he's a smart guy. And so when I feel good about a particular ingredient and a particular combination, I will then take them to him. And he'll break it down for me and look at it on a molecular level. He'll look at it to see if it could contradict any other ingredients that I want to combine with it. He'll look at it from all the different aspects. If he buys off on it, if he gives the thumbs up on that, then I actually do some test runs. I develop some test runs of product. I have another friend who's a medical doctor, and we will get volunteers out of his patient base to try the product and see what the results are. And they come in every week, we monitor weight, we monitor blood pressure, we monitor a lot of different things, including doing full blood workups to see what's happening and see what's going on. This patient base that we're using varies from people in fairly good health who are on no medications to people who are in fairly poor health and on 5 or 6 different medications. Because another thing we want to determine, are our products going to create problems for some of the more common prescriptions that are out there? So we keep a very close eye on that as well. And so as we go through that testing, if it goes through the testing successfully, that's when we feel comfortable giving it to people. Our first priority in developing a product is safety. I don't care how effective it may be, if there's a chance it's not going to be safe, we don't want to get that product out to people. Yes. Oh, this is so we're running out of time.
We are actually
Okay.
really running out of time.
Any other questions? I'll stick around. Please feel free to come up and ask.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, Dave. Really appreciate it.